Greetings and salutations to you all once again. It is me, the Ravenous Spectre, and it's time for some metal. Yeah, so this is exactly what this video is going to be about. I'm going to flip through some metal albums that I own. It's like I mentioned before, I don't go digital unless it's something that really interests me. You've actually seen one of my previous videos where I've been talking about different types of songs that I have from different metal bands on iTunes and whatnot, because I don't really buy albums anymore unless it's a band that I really actually care about. Then I'll definitely end up buying it, like say with the Monomarth or Glory Hammer, which is something that I'm going to end up showing here today, because I got 4 albums in the mail, 2 from Monomarth and 2 from Glory Hammer. One of the newest one is actually one of the albums I got is Amon Amarth's newest one, Jomsviking. So I'm definitely going to show you guys that and how just glorious and pretty it is for sure. But I'm just going to briefly go through what metal albums that I have physically. I have had some other albums in the past, but I ended up either I didn't care about them anymore, I ended up selling them or getting rid of them or whatever the case may be. I do have some other albums from some other different types of music, but obviously they're not metal, so I'm not going to show those. And what better shirt to wear, than the Balrog from Lord of the Rings, because it's metal! Yeah! So, what better than a fiery demon out of the pits of Mordor to shirt to be able to talk about metal. So anyways, here we go. I'm just going to briefly go through these and show you what they are. Some I listen to on occasion, some I don't really, but at least I have them, so it's whatever. This has been upon so many years of collecting some of these albums. And like I said, it's not very many because I kind of pick and choose songs now when it comes to metal artists and whatnot. But anyways, here we go. We got all of this. We got Amon Amarth, Pseudo Rising. I'll just go ahead and take a stack here. Amon Amarth versus the World. Static X, Machine. Although, obviously Static X, they ended up just, disbanding, I think, and Wayne Static kind of did his solo thing, and, rest in peace, Wayne Static. He ended up dying, but, yeah, but like their older stuff and whatnot, I'm into, but their newer stuff that they started making, I just wasn't getting into. We have Deathclock's first album there. Back when Korn, I think, was actually worth listening to. Korn followed the leader. Nowadays, with this whole dubstep techno bullshit, no. Sorry, not happening. Don't really care about Korn anymore. Not like I used to back in the, late 90s, mid to late 90s, whatever. There's a band called Bland. I can't even talk today. I guess it was because of that previous video that I ended up making about WrestleMania 32. I pretty much just ran out of breath. Full Blown Chaos. They're actually pretty awesome. If you guys haven't checked them out, I'd definitely give it a shot. This was an album that I was really unsure about. You know how you kind of go inside of a store and you end up seeing an album and you're like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Let's see if I can actually listen to it. But sure enough, I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't preview it or anything because the store that I was in didn't have those at that point in time. But it's called Kingdom of Sorrow. What was it called? Behind the Blackest Tears. Yeah, and I believe it's like see, that's pretty awesome right there. I'm not going to go through and flip through all these things and whatnot. I'm just going to show you the backs of the fronts that they have happen to interest me or whatever to show you guys. But it was I believe it was like Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed is on it, and some other guy that I honestly I can't remember. I haven't listened to it in forever, but for what it was actually pretty awesome. And obviously, it was the album art that really ended up pulling me towards it. So, and then now we got As I Lay Dying. Yeah, that's got some controversy behind it, at least with the lead singer, but that's neither here nor there. That's all in the past, and I believe the members of As I Lay Dying moved on, and they have like a new band or something going on now. I forgot what it was called. Warwolf, something. I don't know. I think it was Wolf something. I have no clue. And back when Disturbed was actually worth a shit, because they're just boring as hell now. And yeah, here's Disturbed, their Believe album. But Disturbed used to be one of my favorite bands. They really did. But when Asylum came out, there was only like a couple songs on there that I liked, and then their other one came out sometime later down the road after they ended up releasing that album that was nothing but like, B-sides and some songs they never released, or just something like that. I think it was like some songs that were released only on movie albums, and that was it. And so, I mean, it was pretty cool for what it was, but I mean, overall, it wasn't like original Disturbed, like, it wasn't like a brand new album. Well, it was a new album, but it wasn't like new stuff. and then they ended up coming out with their next album. I forgot what it was called. I don't even know anymore, but I don't really care. But there was only like maybe a couple songs on there that I liked, or one song on there that I liked, and I said forget it. I said I'm not even bothering with this album anymore. I mean, even when David Draymond ended up coming out with his other band, Device, I think it was, I didn't even like that album either. There was only one song on there that I liked. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna end up. Yeah, I just give up on these guys. I do. They're not like what they used to be, which actually brought me to their music in the first place. So whatever. And talking about a band that I really wish didn't disband is 3 Inches of Blood. That's a badass artwork right there. You got to admit. I mean, I heard they were disbanding, and I don't know why. I mean, it sucks, you know. And I mean, because they put out awesome music and awesome lyrics and all of that. So you know, it's whatever, I guess. And we got now. This is back. I don't know how Godsmack is now. But when I used to listen to them, they actually had some pretty good stuff out there, and that was actually with their first album, which I honestly had really liked their first album. Not everything on it, but a few good songs, more than enough to warrant to actually go ahead and end up buying the album itself. Let's see here. I'll get one other stack over here. We got Dragon Force, Inhuman Rampage. Hey, I love some power metal, dude. I'm not going to deny that one bit. I love power metal. I love the crazy, crazy guitar solos and the lyrics they come out with, and the drums, just everything. Just absolutely everything. And King of Asgard, which is like another Viking metal type of band. The first album is actually pretty sweet. And then after that, and their second album was pretty good, and then after that, I just kind of fell off with them. I'm very picky. I'm very picky when it comes to any type of media or entertainment, and very well you should be, because I mean, it's a luxury that you're getting. It's not like it's a necessity or nothing like that. So I obviously have to be very picky about things like that. And Demon Hunter, I actually have all of Demon Hunter's albums, I believe. I think I do, but not all of them physical. And they're not they're not even really like what they used to be. Some of the fans were actually upset because they didn't still have that old sound like what they used to in their older albums. And like their newer albums they came out with just made me think, good Lord, what exactly is going on here? You know, so I have no clue. I don't know. And then Death Clock, I think that this was actually their second album that it came out, as a matter of fact. And there's another Demon Hunter there. I'm sorry for this glare. I apologize. I was actually trying to get some light in here to turn open the blinds instead of having to turn on the light, because it probably wouldn't have really made too much of a difference. There's another Demon Hunter there. And another Demon Hunter there. That's actually their first one, I believe. I believe that's their first one that they came out with. And, of course, there's another one there. They have some really awesome artwork, especially with stuff like... I think this was actually one of their albums where they had, like, 2 or 3 different variant covers or something like that. And I got Amon Amarth, you know, Twilight of the Thunder God. This was the first album that actually got me into Amon Amarth and made me such a huge fan of them. And this is a really badass album. If you haven't heard all of them, of Amon Amarth or really gave them a listen, I would definitely give it a shot. And Disturbed's here, Indestructible. That honestly was a really good album for sure. And Metallica, the Black Album, which you can hardly see. Or I think they just call it Metallica, but people call it the Black Album, which you can't really see anything on there, anyways. And Disturbed, the first one that came out, which that was the one that actually, you know, got me into Disturbed, because they were just really crazy on some of their lyrics and whatnot. And there's another Demon Hunter there. And we got a Amon Amarth here, once again, with Fate of the Norns. And the last stack here, before I get to the ones that I ended up getting in the mail, there's another Static X right there. As I Lay Dying, you know. Of course, we already talked about that once before. Of course, I got these albums before that whole controversy came out with the lead singer and whatnot. Slipknot, their first one, which was like a really badass album. It was freaking insane, without a shadow of a doubt. System of a Down, the first one. System of a Down, when are you guys going to put out another album? Come on, get real here. You know, Jesus. And Slipknot, the Iowa album, the second one that they came out with, that one is even more insane. And As I Lay Dying, once again, I believe that this was actually the last album they came out with. Killswitch Engage. I think that was their second album. I don't think it was their first one. Five Finger Death Punch. What was that? The Way of the Fist. Yeah, I think that was the first one that they had released. And Godsmack once again. Face. I think this is actually the last Godsmack album that I had ever bought, honestly, with a full album like that. And we got Slipknot once again, and even Slipknot isn't like what they used to be. I can understand bands wanting to go out there and they want to experiment and do all of that, but I mean, you know, if the band think that's in their best interest, then you know what, so be it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to listen to them, you know. So I've pretty much kind of given up on them too. But the albums that I'm going to go through here, like I mentioned before, is 2 Amon Amarth and it's 2 Glory Hammer here. So the first one I'm going to mention is, look at this. Look how pretty this is. The new Amon Amarth album. Look how gorgeous that is, man. You can't get that digitally, can you? It ain't nothing digital about it. Look at all this. You got to admit, that's pretty metal right there. That's pretty badass right there. I mean, seriously, just look at that. A freaking dragon attacking a longboat there. And it's real high quality stuff, too. It has that new smell. I love that new smell so much. Absolutely. You don't get no new smell with digital. And there's that again. There's that again. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You ain't even seen it before. There's just some. I just love how the quality and the artwork and everything is in there. It's just so badass, man. Seriously, it makes it worth. There's the badasses there. And I was actually trying to see what the new drummer looked like and see exactly who it was, because ever since they ended up losing their previous drummer, I don't know what happened with that. He's gone, so they had to get another one in there. That's just wicked. That's just some serious badassery right there. Let's see. Look at that. I mean, look at that, dude. You know, it's like if you go and pre-order something off iTunes or whatever, you go buy, you got a digital booklet. Well, fuck you, I want a physical one. They go to get a digital booklet, what are you going to do? Just press this button so you can just skip through screens the entire time. That's all you got. You know, it's not like you can actually grab it and hold it and feel it and feel what the paper is and smell it and look at the artwork. And you know, I mean, seriously, it really feels to me like nowadays there's people who, look at that. That's just badass, man. It's just like there's people who just don't give a crap anymore about artwork. I mean, it's just like, oh, I want to get it digital. It's like, oh, well, it's cheaper. Well, you know, sometimes you actually need to put forth an effort to pay a little bit more for quality. I mean, and that's quality right there. It is. And honest to God, I did not pay nowhere near any more than what I did digitally for that. I didn't. And I ended up getting that. So if that tells you anything, and also I ended up buying the whole album anyways. So... But, and Amon Amarth, Deceiver of the Gods. That's one of the other new ones that I ended up getting. And Glory Hammer. This is their newest album, as a matter of fact. And these guys are like a Dungeons and Dragons type of group. They actually act out their personas on stage. They dress in the costumes of their character. I mean, their characters on stage. They basically ended up saying they have, like, I don't know how many albums already ready for a complete story of, like, this character called Angus McFife and his fight against the Dark Wizard Zargothrax. And they basically, each song, I should say, tells a story all the way through each album. And the way the second album ends just made me think, God, I'm ready for the third album. I want to see where the story goes, you know? But, yeah, it's like stuff like this, man. I mean, this high quality paper that I was talking about, and all the artwork that goes into it. I mean, granted, these are just photos of the band themselves, but I mean, the way it makes it, honestly, it's like I've always said. If you end up getting the physical version of like an album or something that you really like, if it's like an album or of a game, and whether it's a special edition or regular edition or whatever, it almost makes you feel like you have the actual body of the game or the album itself. If you're getting it digitally and just downloading it, it's like, okay, you have the soul, you're using it or whatever, you know, listening to it or playing it, but it doesn't feel the same. It just doesn't. And there's their first album right there, Glory Hammer, the Tales of the Kingdom of Fife. Now, I looked through this booklet, and let me tell you, it is gorgeous. Look at this. Can you get it digital? Is it digital? Can you get something like this digital? Hell no, you can't. Look at this. Okay, look. That almost like a map of Middle Earth or something there, dude. Look, it's all high quality paper. It's all slick and smooth. Oh yeah, it smells lovely. You know, I'm getting high off paper. I'm smelling it. I'm getting high off the paper. Anyways, but yeah, see, I mean, look at this. Look how gorgeous this stuff is. You can't get that digital. And look at this. So there's the badasses themselves. Of course, there's the Dark Wizard Zargothrax is actually the keyboard player in the group, I believe. And yeah, there's some titties. Social justice warriors. Look, I got titties on the screen. Look, you see that? You see that? You gonna put a black censor bar across it? You dumb bitches. Anyways, but yeah, there's a. See, it almost looks like you're opening some type of ancient tome or something, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's amazing. But anyways, I could have opened up all of these. I could have showed you all the booklets and all this and that. But I'm not taking that. That would have made the video like twice, thrice as long. Whatever, would have just made it really long, and I didn't want to do that. I actually need to check out my camera here because it actually turned off on me at one point while I was recording the video, and I was about ready to rip the daggum thing up, throw it out there on the lawn, and then piss on it and set it on fire, or set it on fire and then piss on it, and then shit in the ashes. Yeah. Anyways, this is I do that a lot. Anyways, get over there. Anyways, I had to get my daggum headset out the way. It was sitting right there while I had to press the button. Like I always do. I'll end this like I always do. Like I just said I always do. Anyways, whatever. It's 1 hour before Raw! Lovely. And it's the night after WrestleMania just as well. Later, taters.